About My Father. This is a new movie starring Robert De Niro that look from the trailers, I was kind of excited about it, and here's why. It looked like Meet the Parents. It's a movie I really enjoy. I like Robert De Niro, who doesn't, right? So I went to go check this movie out, and it was not good. It wasn't horrible, but I think this movie is off. And it was hard to pinpoint why, because I was watching the movie and I was kind of enjoying myself. There were definitely moments where I chuckled and laughed at some of the bits. There were definitely moments I cringed and things that didn't work. And here's why this movie didn't work. I don't know exactly who directed this movie. Someone can let me know that in the comments down below. But the problem with this movie, it felt like someone who had no idea how to make this kind of movie work directed this movie. For example, from this is a very generic plot for this type of movie, which is fine because a lot of these movies, it's okay for them to have a generic plot because a lot of these types of movies rely on the cast being very strong and it having that kind of humor. And I think the most part the cast is fine. They do what they need to do, and Robert De Niro is definitely a standout here. The main problem with this movie, there are so many bits that should be bigger deals than they are in the movie. Like, for example, the scene where the one dude on the jet ski accidentally flashes the family. That scene didn't really get. They just kind of brushed past it. In another movie like this, that would be a running gag throughout the movie, or would be like kind of a reason or whatever. Or, there's a lot of points in the movie where the family, in this type of movie, usually the family's embarrassed by the son gets embarrassed a lot and then has to learn to, and then the family and him kind of have to like figure out ways to get along. And most of this movie, the family loves him just off the bat. Like they automatically just love this dude. It never feels like the family and them um, come into fighting. Also, there's a bit brought up about how this family that he's going to go visit in this movie is conservative, and I thought they were going to lean into some political humor there and be like, oh, they disagree about political issues, which I know some people might have objected to that, but at least it would have been more interesting than we got. And then also, why set that up if you're not going to do anything with that, right? Because then you could have had some humor, kind of like similar to Knives Out type of thing. Because you got this rich family, and they have some more conservative opinions that are like not great, you know, and then that leads to some good humor in the movie. See, that's the stuff right there that's funny, right, in that movie. But they don't really do that here. The peacock thing, right? You would think that would be the thing that you see that. I'm not spoiling that. That's in the trailer. Uh, but yeah, you see the peacock thing, and you think, oh well, that's gonna be the big thing. They find out that this dude murdered the peacock, but then they get away with it, which is kind of funny at the end, but also kind of like what they do end up fighting about was so rushed, and also not as poignant as it should have been. The father and the son's fight didn't feel as strong and as poignant as it should have been. There's so many little things that, like, in a normal movie like this, it's not really as strong as it should be. It's not like if you watch this movie you'll hate it, because if the movie looks entertaining to you, it will be. But it does feel like there are little things set up throughout the movie that should have bigger payoffs or things like that, and they don't, and they feel very off because of that. And yeah, so I would say at best, if the movie looks funny to you, this is a movie you watch at home, um, on a streaming service like Peacock or Paramount Plus or something. You're not gonna want to go to the theaters for this one. First of all, I will say the movie was very cheap looking at some points. Not majorly so to where it bothered me, but it definitely felt like, all right, I did not need to go to the theater to watch this one. Um, Things like that. It just is not a. It's not a premium price. It's a rental or like a $5 Tuesday type movie, something like that. it just didn't work as well as it should have, which is unfortunate. And I think maybe this director, well, I'm gonna have to look up who they are, should maybe not direct these types of movies because he clearly has not got the knack or sensibility for these types of movies, unfortunately. Which is, I'm just curious to see what else he directed. But yeah, did not care for this one as much as I was hoping to, unfortunately.